So today I want to talk to you about like how to have peace in the midst of chaos. How to have peace in the midst of chaos because there's always chaos happening. There's always problem happening. We may not acknowledge it, but they are there. So just in general, whenever you're going through something, we're all going through something. There is something that happens in our brain too. And I want to talk to you about that. There's the choices that we have. One, we panic and problems could become our focus. When panicking and the problems becomes our focus, then solution disappears, right? But only that, but the brain starts to look only for problems. It looks for problem, it looks for panic everywhere. And the second thing that happens after your brain starts to look for panics and problems everywhere, it actually paralyzes you with fear. And that's a very dangerous thing to be paralyzed with fear because when you're supposed to take action, you're paralyzed. So whatever goes on in the mind will actually happen in the body and the habits of your actions, right? And then what happens when you're paralyzed? You're going to seek to disconnect. You're going to seek comfort. So even if you're not like exactly around or like directly affected by the danger around you, even hearing other people going through danger could actually affect you in the same way as well. You can disconnect. You can focus just on your problem because you're seeing problem. You want to connect with problems, so you could connect with other people and you're going to start talking just about the problems. And everything you speak of is problems and panic. And that doesn't really help you to find a solution. As I just said, we will be disconnected from the solution. And then so once your focus is on your panic and your problems, once your fear is paralyzing you, the next thing you know, your perception of everything becomes urgent. And if your perception of everything becomes urgent and is constantly rolling and going, guess what? You're going to be left with fatigue and frustration. Fatigue and frustration. So when you're going to feel tired, you're going to feel drained, and you're not going to be able to make the right decision. But the problem with that too is what happens to your mind. What your mind does, it actually seeks future defeat. Now it actually sees, not only seeks, but it sees future defeats, okay, and disappointment. So in other words, what it starts to do once you're so used to training your mind to see the problems and panicking and everything else, which is I'm not saying not to acknowledge that. I'm going to give you some solution to do that, what to do with it. But once we focus on that, once we're focused on that, then we're paralyzed with the fear. Now all we perceive is everything that is wrong and everything that is wrong in the future. So you're almost like predicting what's going to happen next because you're looking for it. So everything that happens now is going to it's going to be defeated and you're going to be disappointed. A car breaks down once, you're going to be looking for the shoe to fall. Like they say, that's how they say, right? You're going to be looking for what else is wrong. So you fix your car. I'm giving you the scenario of a car, right? Say you fix your car, but yet you're always consistently thinking of what's going to happen next, and you never enjoy the car that you have. All right, it's the same way in life. Whenever you're focusing on whatever problem you have, and you're so fixated by that, you can't be present with all the opportunities that are around you, all the things that could be going right. And I said this story before to different people, different friends of mine, that I went to the park just the other day and there was a lot of winds going on all over and there was, fire that you see the smoke, but I was in a safe area, but as safe as it can be, right? But what happened is I saw a little bird. It was a bird. It was actually a blue bird. It was black and blue, and it stayed right there in my side mirror, and it stared at me the whole time that it was there. It felt like it was a long time, but I felt peace and connection with this animal. I mean, this bird, and I'm like, I'm. It's not like I'm a bird person, but I felt that peace and connection. And that's going to take me to my point of what can we do? But that peace and connection didn't make any sense to me. How do I get this from this bird that I just met, right? But what I realized prior to what I was doing is I was praying for peace. So because I was praying for peace, I was able to see it. So how do we overcome this whole perception that projects the future as a disappointment, as defeating, depressing, and hopeless. When you have that, the first thing we got to do is to redirect your focus in search for peace. You need to redirect your focus in search for peace. The mind is naturally negative. The mind is naturally going to look for and find a problem. So refocusing and redirecting that focus on searching for peace. Peace of what? Peace of what's going on around you, because peace needs to be practiced, right? You need to practice searching for peace, actually. You need to practice looking for things that bring you peace. For me, I pray. For me, I look, and then once you pray, you got to look for the things that bring you peace. You can't find peace even in the middle of chaos and panic. You can't find peace because peace comes from within, not from looking of whatever is going on. Peace surely is not going to come from what your environment, what's going on around you. But it's so important for that peace. Why? Because once you have that peace, then you can reframe your perspective to your problem. See, fear takes your problem and it creates a bigger problem than what it really is, right? Or what you can't control, right? Because what fear does, it tries to control things that it cannot control. And then it gets frustrated. And it tells you, and it has a conversation with you on, hey, you're out of control. We need to just run. We need to do whatever it is that we need to do, but not be present. So when you reframe your perspective of your problem, you will also reframe your perspective on your solution. Because if you're focusing so much on the problem, guess what? You have no solution. The solution is the problem. You know what I mean? The solution is to just to find the problem. So by reframing, how do I reframe, you may ask, your perspective? Is the conversation you're having in your head. We all have conversations in our head about what's going on inside of us or outside of us. So once you agree with fear, all you're going to see is fear. Once you agree with that conversation in your head that you can't do nothing, all is bad, and you say you agree with that, guess what? You're going to not only see only fear, but you're also going to agree with other people that are freaking out. This whole freak out, you know what I mean? So it's really important for you to understand the conversation that's happening in your head, which will reframe the perspective of your problem. All right. Lastly, this is important. This will help me. Remember God who helped you in the past. Remember God. Remember the God who helped you in the past, who helped you to overcome. So we have to recall how we overcame in the past. Yes, this may be something new, what's happening now, but we got to recall that in the past, I was helped. In the past, I overcame. And when you remember the past, you also recall the warrior within you. Because if you are just looking for defeat, you are actually firing the warrior within you. So when you recall how God called you out in the past or helped you out in the past, it's also calling out the warrior within you, the fighter within you. Because when we're in fear, we don't fight anymore. We let go. we might fight the wrong battle, but no, we all have a warrior inside of us, one that persevere, one that doesn't stop, one that could see a solution even within a problem, one that God completely designed and equipped you for now. And sometimes we have to go through things in order to become things, become someone, become the person that's needed for our situation. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Mindset Mastery is a group that I have. So if you want to be a part of it, put me, and then I will send you to my group, and I have a whole bunch of more videos there. All right. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will be praying for you and keep praying for me.